Welcome, friends. We are back with one more episode of Through Literary Lens. And you must be wondering what we have brought today to discuss. Actually, today we have not brought anything just to discuss, but we will first listen to the poem itself, and we have with us none other than your favorite and whom you have heard often as a critic, but as all of you know, he is a well-known poet and author as well in Sindhi, Hindi and English and Urdu. He has been writing numerous pieces which have found resonance throughout the country and I should say throughout the world. We have with us Dr. Vinod Asudani. Welcome, Vinod ji.
Namaskar, Rajesh ji.
And today, first we will listen to your very in-depth and great poem called Death. The title is Death. And all of us are fascinated by the word itself. And it has been the favorite haunt of all the creative writers. Many have written on this subject. It's an offbeat subject, I should say. But today, we do expect to hear something new, something unsaid maybe, and we will see what it is. We will discuss it. But first, we will hear to the poem itself, Dr. Saab.
Thank you very much, Rajesh ji, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my English poem with listeners. The title of the poem is Death.
Acha.
Diseases hasten death not. Cholesterol ever kills you not. BP your breath takes not. Sugar your soul ever sucks not.
Okay.
Drop by drop death descends, neither eyes nor look lens.
Drop by drop,
Drop by drop
death descends.
death descends, neither eyes nor look lens. When childhood is punished to play, in lonely lane condemned to lay, when young wings flutter in vain, when young wings flutter in vain, life full to the brim with pain, when hunt you unfulfilled dreams, when haunt you unfulfilled dreams, nothing works it seems, when lovely beloved you believes not, when lovely beloved believes you not, in heart's matter no longer sought, when entrance finds in house market, savings slip away so carefully kept, when entrance finds in house market, savings slip away so carefully kept, when stranger in your own house you feel, when stranger in your own house you feel, deceit declared each your favor deal, deceit declared each your fair deal, when longing empty ears fill, when longings empty ears fill, memories come to aid, to time kill, when for brothers soul longs, when for brothers soul longs, sisters cease singing songs, sisters cease singing songs, when life lends no longer new lease, when life lends no longer new lease, perturbed calm is mistaken as peace. Perturbed calm
Is
is mistaken
as
as peace when on your frailty friends infringe.
Yeah.
When on your frailty friends
Infringe.
infringe, solace give they not, prick syringe. Solace give they not, prick syringe. When soulmate is not on same page. When soulmate is not on same page. Romance rhetorics. Romance rhetorics and love is rage. Love is rage. When you feel empty earth and sky. When you feel empty earth and sky, no longer can hear your own sigh. No longer can hear your own sigh. When dogs in office you mistreat. When dogs in office you mistreat, what you deserve, fools occupy that seat. When your wisdom comes to naught. When your wisdom comes to naught, in world's whirlpool you are caught. In world's whirlpool you are caught. When your opinion wealthy discount. When your opinion wealthy discount, poor among themselves you do not count. When temple bells hollow sound. When temple bells hollow sound, earthly tasks no more you bound. When in distant land none does care. When in distant land none does care, fragrance of beloved brings not air. When mesmerizes you your mind not moon. When mesmerizes your mind not moon. Drinks, dances, dinners, themselves no more boon. Drinks, dances, dinners, themselves no more boon. When sweet murmur of river seems loud. When sweet murmur of river seems loud, in sky hateful is wandering cloud. Drop by drop death descends.
Neither
eyes nor look lens. Drop by drop death descends.
Wonderful, wonderful, Vinodji. What a wonderful poem you have recited. And drop by drop, death descends. Such a haunting line, such a haunting refrain it has, and really deep down it goes in deep down into our heart as well as into our mind. So emoto-rational appeal of this poem is great. And death, of course, as I said, it has been the central theme of many poets and authors. Emily Dickinson's central metaphor of her poetry is death itself. Many others have written, even some have written positively about death, like Robert Browning. They see death as the gateway to the next world and to achieve the things which one could not achieve in this life and all those things. But here, Vinodji, I would say that you have perceived death in a different way. In a different way, in the sense that I would say that death is not an event, but death is a process.
Exactly, Rajeshji. It is
Death is a
continuous process.
Yeah. Drop by drop, death descends. Now, how you have beautifully illustrated it. I would say it's an illustrated poem in the sense that it's in couplets, and each couplet
Is
hammers
a drop of death.
drop of death. Yeah, each couplet is a drop of death. It hammers a truth which you are forced to think about, that what's it is, do we experience in our life, and isn't it reducing the potency of our life day by day?
Exactly.
So we will take couplets and we will try to.
And before that, in the opening lines, demolish,
of course.
Demolish our myth that the disease are responsible for death, whether it's a high cholesterol, whether it's a BP or sugar. We perceive that people die of diseases, but perhaps that is the final outcome of the disease. But within the life itself, when the life is going on,
Yeah.
how we are being killed, how death is coming drop by drop to us, right
Even-
from our childhood.
Even these things like disease, like BP, they kill in the end, but in our day-to-day life they do hamper our livability, I would say. They have an adverse impact on the quality of life, so that way they are the harbingers of death. But of course, poet says that they don't kill by themselves. You may have seen many people who are afflicted by BP, who are afflicted by diabetes, but their quality of life is great. They are happy from within. But I would say they are not happy from within. The happiness comes contextually. It is built, it is made. As they say making love, I say making happiness. So how that is done? How
Yes,
that is done?
that's really great, because the first drop of death comes in childhood, when childhood is punished for play. If you forbid the child from playing, I believe that is the first experience of death that he has in his life.
Play is the first pleasure of a person, and the life itself should be a play, they say. But when a child grows up 1 or 2 years, you allow the children to play and then you take them away. You have to study, you have to do this, you have to do that. हम तो बचपन में भी अकेले थे, सिर्फ दिल की गली में खेले थे.
वो कहते हैं ना कि पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब,
हाँ.
खेलोगे कूदोगे बनोगे खराब.
और ये
So
क्या है कि-
entire discourse, cultural discourse is against play.
Yeah.
But psychologists point out that if you allow the child to play to the heart's content, that child is going to be wise and intelligent both.
बच्चों के नन्हे हाथों को चांद सितारे छूने दो, 4 किताबें पढ़ के ये भी हम जैसे हो जाएंगे.
Gee, that's a really wonderful Rajesh Reddy's couplet, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And when then other couplet, it tells that death continues even through young age. When young wings flutter in vain,
Yeah,
life
that
full
is,
to the brim with pain. So when young people are denied their opportunities,
Nothing
their
seems to
rights,
work.
Nothing seems to work.
So these are very haunting lines. When their wings flutter in vain, you don't achieve what you set out to do, and all your actions are as if they are in a void. They don't meet with any consequences. There is no matching response.
See, because of lack of resources, because of a response from the system, because of lack of opportunities, if the dreams of youth are not fulfilled, if they are not in a position to fulfill their dreams, I believe that is the death.
Yeah, of course. That saps the life energy from within you. And then
Something in you has died at that time. So drop by drop death comes.
Yeah.
Again, we come back to that central metaphor. And Rajeshji, how do you find the theme of alienation that is at work and in different contexts?
Of course. This poem depicts the alienation in various domains, right from the breakdown of relationship, familial ties, to the romantic relationship, even to the systems like the system, bureaucratic system, official system, and finally even it reaches to the alienation from nature itself. So firstly, there are couplets which hint at the breakdown of relationships.
Yes, when for brothers souls longs, sisters cease singing songs.
Oh, what a beautiful alliterative line it is, and what a haunting memory. Of all of us have pleasant memories of childhood when brothers and sisters together form a family and they have a good days together. But as we grow up, we are cut off from one another, and sisters cease singing the song. So everybody is moved to tears by such lines.
And even when we grow up in our young age, in our old age, even brothers and sisters, we do not meet so frequently, and simply the emotional distance creeps up among brothers and sisters. So that is something lamentable. So such close relations like brothers and sisters, at least in this hostile and unresponsive world, they should remain together.
And
perhaps.
generally, literature harps upon the romantic relations only, and sibling and the familial ties are not very much talked about, except a few poets here and there. But you have done very well to bring in this aspect of alienation, which precipitates death. Death in the sense psychological death. Physical death is the culmination, as we have already discussed. It is only an event, maybe far into the future, maybe 60s, 70s, 80s, whenever. But throughout our life, right from childhood, teenage, 20s and 30s, we are dying day in and day out.
Yes. And even friends, they do not bring any type of solace.
Yeah.
So even not only the relationship, but even the friendships are so frail that they very often take undue advantage of the person rather than proving to be a source of strength at the time of difficulty.
Yeah.
And then this poem, Rajaji,
Ji.
also brings in love relationship, right?
Of course.
Which is one of the most
It is bound
beautiful
to. It
relationship.
is bound to bring, and you have very poignant couplets about it when soulmates are not on the same page.
When lovely beloved believes you
yeah,
not.
when lovely beloved believes you not. That is the profound thing which is the mistrust or the distrust which sets in, that kills the soul of the relationship, and in turn it kills you. And when romance is rhetoric and love is rage, everybody, all of us have experienced this not only the wear and tear of normal romantic relationships, but this is a profound decay, as they say, a decline and fall of our so-called very elevated, lovely and romantic
Even in
relationships.
most intimate, most close relationships, the romance is reduced to rhetorics.
I love you, you love me, you say you love me. How often we hear these phrases
Love making
meaninglessly
is
spoken.
reduced to just performance of a ritual.
Yeah.
And Rajesh, there is a hint at the pernicious impact of globalization as
Of
well.
course, when the market has entered.
When entrance finds in-house market.
Earlier, Vinodji, we used to go to market.
Yes.
Nowadays, market comes to us. It
Yes.
is inside our homes. You are always on Amazon, Flipkart, whatnot. Even in the bedroom, husband and wife are busy purchasing the things.
So wonderful thing, right? I am a psychologist, so the one couple came to me
Yeah.
for the counseling. So one of the important complaints that husband had, so he said that whenever I am trying to speak of romance, my wife is busy shopping on Flipkart.
Yeah.
So that shows that this market has found entrance in our houses, and without our knowing, entire our saving simply slips away.
Yeah, it's wiped out overnight. I mean, you can't even tell where the money has gone many a times. What you have purchased, really have you purchased happiness with the money? Or simply gadgets which you are going to return within the 30-day return policy of Amazon? I don't know. So in this way, our vitality, our connect with one another is being totally destroyed.
So this globalization is another drop of death.
Yeah, of course it is.
Then perhaps to the concluding lines, they refer to the alienation from nature.
And
Because-
before that, you come to the office as well.
Oh yes,
You know?
that is really.
And apart from office, yes, we will discuss the office when dogs in the office you mistreat,
when dogs in office you mistreat,
and then
and
somebody
what
else.
you deserve, fools occupy that seat.
Yeah. Of course, that bureaucratic alienation in your working life also. Many a times we feel that we are sidelined by the fools who really don't know the job, and they are sidelining in the name of various formalities, various procedures, or even the name of nepotism and corruption
So
also.
instead of bureaucracy, there should be meritocracy. But the meritocracy is absent everywhere. It is conspicuous by its absence.
By its absence. And after office, before nature also, or with nature, Vinodji,
Ji.
you have the lines like, when the temple bells sound
Sound
hollow.
When the temple bells sound hollow.
They sound, and you are not to the earthly tasks, you are not bound. Now, this is a very, very peculiar realization.
You
feel-
are uprooted from both the worlds,
Both
from
the
this world
worlds.
and even from the spiritual world. So what people say that
Yeah.
if they are disgusted with this world, at least they can find some solace in the spirituality.
But-
But the temple bells, when they sound hollow,
And this is, I must congratulate you for this expression, because in our literature also we are conditioned to portray spirituality or religion in the positive light.
even T.S. Eliot, he says, when the entire in world, West world,
Yeah.
basically in his Westland, right,
Westland.
where there is a commercialization and perversion and degradation of the lovemaking and sex, he says ultimate refuge we can find under
in
the red rock.
Red rock.
And red rock symbolizes Christian church.
Christianity.
So ultimately comes that if solace has to come, it has to come from spirituality or the religion.
But
I
here,
go a
you've
step
got a
ahead.
step ahead, and you have renounced religion, I would say. And not only renounced religion, but you have said that temple bells do hollow sound. This is the utter disillusionment of a person with the thing called religion as well as spirituality, I would say. Because howsoever conditioned we might be since our childhood, but ultimately there comes a point when a person realizes that all this is perhaps only fictional.
Rajeshji, perhaps here you would better explain.
Yeah.
Here the poem is transported
Yeah.
to the realm of existential philosophy,
course,
the
of
meaninglessness,
course. It is.
monotony or ennui.
Definitely. And as they say, you get the best of both the worlds. Here the poet is getting the worst of both the worlds. And I remember Bertrand Russell, a great philosopher,
Oh yes.
who said once that only one visit to the children's ward is more than enough to destroy the faith in Almighty and all benevolent God.
Yes, even Brother Karamazov's,
Brother Karamazov.
great Russian novelist
Dostoevsky.
he says that yes, if you give me the promises of luxuries and promises of happiness in the heaven, but the heaven seems to be so distant,
Yeah.
so I return the tickets of heaven that you are entitled to after death.
And here, the poet has got the glimpse that after all, it is only a fictional finalism, whatever the Almighty, whatever the religion says, and
Alfred,
therefore the
Adler.
yeah,
Adler
Alfred
says
Adler
fictional
says
finalism.
fictional finalism. Yeah, the concept is Adler's concept. So poet perhaps realizes that all this religion or so-called spirituality is just a fictional finalism which we have created for our own benefit, and therefore the temple bells sound hollow. And I am of course sure that our listeners, our audience, they are expanded in their minds not to confine the temple with only the temple. All the places of religion are included in it. So in this aspect, this poem definitely goes beyond. I remember a Hindi couplet also here. There is ki दुनिया की तमन्ना क्या ख्वाहिश दुनिया कौन, इस दुनिया की उस दुनिया की अब ख्वाहिश दुनिया कौन करे, जीने की दुआएं क्या मांगे मरने की तमन्ना कौन करे,
वाह वाह,
जीने की दुआएं क्या मांगे मरने की तमन्ना कौन करे, इस दुनिया की उस दुनिया की अब ख्वाहिश दुनिया कौन करे.
When person gets disillusioned and uprooted from both the worlds, that agony,
Yeah.
that helplessness,
And
that psychic trouble, I would say,
Yeah.
finds expression. And before Rajesh,
Yeah.
the discussion is over,
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to have your comments.
Yeah.
When sweet murmur of
Of
river
course,
seems
of course.
loud,
Yeah.
in sky hateful is wandering cloud.
One thing is that you come to the nature. As we have already demolished the myth of religion and spirituality or myth of supernaturalism, you come to the nature, and there also the poet is not one with the nature.
Because here you are listeners must be reminded
Yeah.
of Wordsworth,
Wordsworth.
who finds great solace in nature.
Nature,
He
but
believes that nature is a spiritual and moral guide.
But no, here the poet goes, I would say, again one step ahead, and he is also aware of the ignominies of nature, injustices of nature, nature red in tooth and claw, as Tennyson puts it, and therefore the murmur of the river does not sound pleasing to the poet. It sounds very loud, and ultimately the last line is very symbolic, Vinodji.
Gigi.
When the wandering cloud in
Wandering
the
cloud.
sky is meaningless.
Yes.
It doesn't evoke a sense of happiness, joy, purpose. No. All the wanderings. And in between, you have referred to the earth and sky also.
Yes.
Unresponsive or uncomprehending earth and sky. It reminds me of Thomas Carlyle in his Recital. He has written about his 20 years in which he was despondent, greatly depressed, and existentially he felt that the world is meaningless. And he has written there that earth and sky seemed two great jaws about to swallow me in. So
Death comes from different
yes,
doors.
different doors, different angles. And at least Thomas Carlyle again found a solace in religion, and he was maybe rehabilitated in life, I would say. But here the poet knows that the death descends, drop by drop death descends, and poet has not offered any easy way out, or he has rather not offered any way out. So death is all around us in our day-to-day life, in our every breath. The death it is upon us humans, to figure out how we can keep death at bay for ourselves as well as for others, our near and dear ones, and everybody else.
So thank you very much, Rajesh ji, for illustrating and throwing light on some of lines from this poem. And I'm sure that
we would like to know what our audience they think, really what they think about many things in this poem. So do write your comments, do let us know, and we will be back with yet another episode shortly. So I am Rajesh Asudani Raqeeb.
I'm Dr. Vinod Asudani. We take your leave here. Namaskar.
Namaskar.